Questions for Coach Collins?
Well, it had to be good to see this group kind of be tested like that down the stretch, make some big plays on the defensive end to force overtime and then ultimately win this thing.
You know, we may not win a lot of style points, but I really don't care about style. Just get to the end, just get to the end of the game. And so, you know, those games are always fun when you get to that overtime and you get an opportunity. We kept talking about in our huddles that we're learning and we're trying to improve. And so Jen got a big deflection on the out of bounds and got the ball and then they called timeout. And then then Sophie got a good steal, and then we dribbled, and we had 4 seconds to go. And so we're learning. Like, you know, I'd say if you get a steal in the front court, we'll take it and go after it. If you get a steal in the back court, we want to take a timeout. So we're learning from that. And what we did learn was we took care of the ball in the second half and overtime. We had 11 turnovers at halftime. Tia Shelling had 3 of those, and we had 6 turnovers in the entire second half and overtime, and Tia had 1. And so that's where we're learning, and we're learning. We got a bunch of players that they're not freshmen, but it's except for Sophia, it's like a whole freshman team out there, because Jen didn't play last year at South Florida, and Tia didn't play. She was behind Lex Mead, and she just wasn't ready, and so. Tori, you know, I texted her today, I said, you're due for a breakout game. And I mentioned on the radio, I didn't think it'd be necessarily at the free throw line, but we'll take that. And so that means she was taking good shots and getting fouled. And so, and Tori didn't play last year, and Tatum was out. And so we got a whole bunch of young ladies that are learning how to play in this environment. And when we had our exhibition game, I think the lights spooked us. We were just spooked by everything. And so we're learning to settle down a little bit and use a little bit. Sometimes we do vocabulary words, and one time our vocabulary word was discernment. And so we talked about we're using a little bit of decision making, a little bit of discernment.
To have a frustrating game over the weekend, what did you see differently in these girls tonight to push this game to overtime and then to hang on to the win?
Calm, just staying poised and not getting rattled. And so in the game at Longwood, we weren't making shots, and we got rattled, and the pressure caused us to turn the ball over, and tonight we handled pressure a lot better. And we worked on that. We play against pressure defense in practice, but it's different when the lights come on and your opponent's not somebody that you're familiar with. And so we're learning how to do that, and I was really proud of how they just came back and practiced and watched film and got ready, and they've really done a phenomenal job with the chemistry, with their preparation. Now, our fundamentals are not there yet. You know, our decision making got better at moments, but other times you can see, like, you know, I'm trying to pull my hair out. And so, but we're learning, and they're getting experience as they play. And so that was the biggest thing, was just, we talked about in the locker room, you know, it's not just basketball, it's like life. You get punched in the mouth, you get knocked down, you got 2 choices. You either quit or you get back up. And we just talked about just keep getting back up. Just keep getting back up. And if you keep getting back up, and if you want it bad enough, eventually you'll win. You'll be successful. And whatever it is, a business, with your family, you're gonna have a plan, you're gonna have a vision, you're gonna have an idea, and something's gonna go wrong. And you've got to get back up and figure out how to fix it. And so we talk a lot about just getting back up. And we know we're going to make some turnovers, but we can't let that lead to a defensive mistake, and can't let that lead to not boxing out. And we almost got beat on that tonight. And so I was proud of, you know, Tori played through. She's going to be hurting tomorrow. She's going to have to sleep in a bathtub of ice tonight. And Tia was cramping the whole second half. And so I was proud of those two just fighting and pushing through it.
I mean, with the injury that happened to Trinity Friday, and then your, you know, very quick turnaround, almost kind of feel like maybe a little shell shock there. But tonight, Tia kind of settling in and taking that role with you guys knowing you're not going to have Trinity, and you know, here for a little bit. It's got to be really nice to see what she was able to do tonight.
I'm proud of her. You know, she didn't get to play last year, and we worked real hard in the off season, and we were in here. I've told you before, we were in here at 6 a.m. every day. I was in town in June and July working, and she was here every day ready to go. And then she continued that with Coach Whitney, and so she's earned this opportunity. And she didn't just show up. She's earned it. She's worked hard to try to fill, you know, Trinity or Lex Mead's shoes, and those are big shoes. And so, well, not literally, figuratively. And so she's earned that, and I'm proud of that growth. And we've still got more work to do. We just keep talking about we're learning, we're preparing, we want to be at our best in March, and that's what we're trying to do.
You switched. Thank you. You switched to a high-pressure 2-3 zone defense in the third quarter, correct?
Yes.
What went into that decision?
We were having a little bit of trouble with the drive, honestly, and we lost some. We lost some three-point shooters. Actually, at the end of the second quarter, we lost another one, and we were losing some three-point shooters. And it's just easier to keep track of those players when you're in the zone. And then they did a good job of sneaking somebody down the baseline, and that's just something that we hadn't really prepared for. We were trying to cover it on the board and timeouts, but it's good for us. You know, we've had breakdowns in other areas, and we've gotten better in that, and so that's good that they show us something else that we've got to improve on. So when they see those things, that helps us to learn, it helps us to get better, and helps us to get ready for March.
Jen keeps giving you that presence in the paint that maybe we haven't seen the last few years.
Yeah, since Raneem. And so, yeah, it's been a long time. They're hard to find. They're all playing volleyball, and so it's hard to find good. And the thing I love the most about Jen is she's so coachable, and she's so smart, and she's embarrassed about her English. Her English is good. She understands, but that's why she's not in here, because she's still working. She's working extra, but she works hard, and you don't know how much she's learned and grown from July to now. And that's a lot to ask of a young lady that's a senior, to do new things, to practice and work, and she's continued to do that. And I was proud of her tonight. She got that big deflection on that side out of bounds, and we put her up on the ball. We've never practiced that, so just get big. She got a deflection, held the ball, and then she got a rebound, and we made them review it, because either they knocked it out of bounds or they took her arms out. Like, she didn't turn and throw it out of bounds on purpose. And so I was glad that they got that right.
Obviously, got the news Trinity Day. She had the surgery today. Said everything was successful, but still kind of indefinite timeline there. I mean, I guess the good thing is it's taken care of. You know the surgery is successful. Now you just gotta be patient with the rehab.
Yep. I mean, we're thankful she's got a great doctor. We're thankful that surgery went well. You know, we're keeping her in our prayers for the recovery. And the main thing is the team has to. We talked early, like, we're going to need everybody, not just Trinity. We're going to need everybody. And tonight it showed up. Like, we needed Tia Schelling to show up, and she did. And so, you know, when Trin gets back, whenever that is, I think this team will be better. And I think she'll add to this team, and she'll help us be a little bit stronger.
Is there a time frame for a surgery like that, or is it hard to determine this early?
No, I mean, I'm not a doctor. I play one on TV with my kids, but they just said surgery went well, and she'll start range of motion stuff pretty soon. And then I know that the plan is, as she progresses, is to reduce the size of her casting or protection. And so we just got to let her heal. Whatever it takes is what it takes. In the meantime, we got to get ready for Indiana State.
Anything else?
Wichita State was playing, they were playing pretty hard. They were playing pretty aggressive. When you're talking to your players and creating a game plan and everything, how much did their consistency of fouls and stuff like that, like, how much did that go into your decision making?
And that's a good point. And when we're preparing, you're not necessarily preparing for fouls. What we're trying to do is to become strong with the ball, and we're trying to become better decision makers with the ball. And so sometimes when you feel pressure, when you're not calm and relaxed in anything, then you make mistakes. And so we're always working on trying to just be calm and strong. And so tonight they did a much better job in the second half of being poised and calm and strong. If you're that way, and I said, you can't anticipate or expect the referee to call the foul. You just have to play strong, and you have to make good decisions. And if you'll do those things, sometimes you'll get a foul. But if you don't do those things, then you're still in control of your outcome. You still get an opportunity to get a quality shot. And so in the past, what we've done in our exhibition and then at Longwood is sometimes that pressure sped us up and we made poor decisions. And we just got to keep working on it. We're not there. I'm thankful we won. We'll celebrate it and be glad tonight. And tomorrow we'll start getting ready for Indiana State. But we still got a lot of wood to chop.
Playing that in the second half seemed a lot more deliberately slow. Was that because of the pressure seeming to, like the second quarter, I think, like the shooting was not great. Was the second half, like, and overtime, that kind of deliberately slow pace a part of that, trying to stress decision making and not the...
Really, they weren't giving us a whole lot of transition opportunities. They weren't trying to press us. They were trying to put a little token stuff and really trying to get back. And so we did still need to run down there and take a bad or hurried shot. And we were trying to chip away at that thing. And once we saw the ball go in the basket, then we were able to try to control the pace of the game. I think this team still can be a pretty good transition team, but tonight, just the way it turned out, that we needed to just take care of the ball. And then once we got in the spot where we had the lead, we needed to make sure we got a quality shot. We didn't need to run down there and take a bad shot or turn the ball over. And I think that had a lot to do with why we had 6 turnovers instead of 11 in the second half.
Anything else? All right.
Thank you, guys.